What you're telling me?
You won't see any.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, never mind.
How long do you want to wait, Nora?
We can get started, Joyce.
Well, I don't know whether,
Wait a few minutes.
waiting a few minutes because people try to sign in. It's
Yeah.
me. I'm just trying to be respectful of.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the University of Hartford Virtual Accepted Students Day. Well, we wish we could be welcoming you on our beautiful campus. Unfortunately, we can't do that today, but we have the next best thing, which, as you know, is called WebEx. Before I get started introducing the director of the program, I just wanted to let everybody know that there's a chat box, and it should be on the right-hand side of your screen. If not, if you can't find it there, there's some little bubbles that you can put your mouse over at the bottom, and you should see a way to be able to chat. And all you have to do is type in your message, and we will answer questions as this program goes on. So if you can't, and the other thing I want to mention, if you can't hear us or can't see us, or you're having any audio problems at all, please send a chat. Please send a chat in the chat box. Okay, I'd like to introduce the director of the program, Dr. Joyce Thielen. She's a director of the BSN program, and she will take over and she'll introduce you to some students and her colleague, Valerie. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki. I'd like to welcome everybody who came to our virtual acceptance day today. We're very happy that you did. We know that your time is very precious. You're probably doing a lot of Zooms and WebExes with your high school classes, so thank you very much for joining us. I am joined today by my colleague, Professor Valerie Weinall. She is our lab and simulation coordinator. We also have two first-year students, Gabrielle Moynihan and Elizabeth Volpe, who have joined us so they can give you a student's perspective of the program at the University of Hartford. So I do have a PowerPoint presentation and some slides to go over. They will be joining me periodically throughout this program. I will also remind you that at any time we ask you to do a question. If you have a question, don't wait till the end. We'll stop our presentation and answer the question right away. So with that, I'm going to hope that this works for me, and it is. And here we go. So again, welcome to our virtual acceptance students day. I don't know how many of you have visited our campus in the fall or at our luncheon that we had in February. So some of these things we go over will be new to you, or some of it may be repetitious. But again, if you have any questions, let us know. So we're very proud of our nursing program at the University of Hartford. And our vision is to prepare future nurse leaders and advance education of registered nurses while fostering professional and personal development. I don't know how many of you know that the year 2020 was named the Year of the Nurse and Midwife. And we had all kinds of celebrations scheduled for this year because we are very proud of our nursing heritage. And did you know that 2020, we recognized the critical contribution nurses and midwives make to global health? Actually, 50% of all global healthcare workforce are nurses and midwives. So there's a lot of nurses in healthcare. We take up the bulk of healthcare professionals. Instead of celebrating, I'm sure you understand that these nurses are in the trenches. They are frontline healthcare providers. We're doing drive-by testing for COVID, and we're joining together to fight this pandemic. Very proud to say that I am a nurse. So I'd like to thank everybody who is doing that frontline work and hope for their safety. So I'm going to tell you now that this is an old slide, 6 months old, and we thought that we were only going to need millions of new nurses. I am sure this figure has grown since October. We will need more and more nurses. So we're happy that you have chosen to join the ranks of professional nurses, because you will certainly have a job when you get out. Some of the things that we think are extremely, that distinguish us from other programs or other universities, is that we have all of these career-ready programs, not just nursing, but we also have radiology technicians, and we have physical therapy, and we're starting occupational therapy. So we have a lot of other healthcare professions in our college, and so the nursing students will be working with those different professionals. We have expert faculty. We are all registered nurses. We all have a history of specializing in certain areas of our profession. We have lots of good clinical experiences lined up for our students, and many of these clinical experiences will occur in the community, because that is where healthcare is moving more towards community care. We are always looking at our curriculum to make it better, to make it more contemporary. And one thing for certain, we are very student-centered. We are very student success-centered. You'll see that picture down there. That's our Professor Weinall there with some of the freshmen, first-year students. They have their red uniforms on. Another thing that we find particularly distinguishable in our program is a student nurse council. It is a group of nursing students who are interested in leadership roles. Professor Weinall actually is the advisor, so I think I'm now going to hand over the mic to Professor Weinall.
All right, are you able to hear me? Okay, so it's nice to meet everyone virtually. I'll talk a little bit about the Student Nurse Council. We're using a shared governance model, which a lot of our nurses will be using in the hospital setting. Elizabeth and Gabby, who are on this panel with us today, are members of our nursing council. And what we are doing is we are working on building mentoring programs and different things to help support nurses through all 4 years of nursing school. Gabby, do you want to tell the group a little bit about what we are currently working on?
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay. So the Student Nursing Council is working on a couple different projects right now. The main one being the mentor program. So kind of what that consists of is, let's say you as a freshman, aren't really sure, your way around the school, your way around the program. So you would go and sign up, basically, and you'd be matched with a student that's not in your year of graduation, so a year or two ahead of you. And they would, be able to kind of mentor you and kind of show you around the campus, kind of answer your questions. So it's kind of just a little bit of a connection between, you and another like upper level student, just to kind of build those, nursing connections.
Awesome, thank you. Elizabeth, do you have anything you want to add?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm really excited about the mentoring program. We're hoping that all the nursing students coming in are gonna have a good time in their learning and meeting people, and we're all really excited about building it together.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, we're really excited about that. This is something that the students thought that would have been nice for them in their first year, and they wanted to implement it for future groups. Joyce, I'm unable to advance the slides from my end.
Go ahead.
So I see in the questions that there was a question right away that said, will the new building still be open in the fall of 2021? And it is, to our knowledge, still going to open 2021. If we were on campus, we would point to all of the construction going on. They put up a big fence before we left campus. We were busy, getting work done. So we are looking forward to that building. A couple little bits of info about the building. It's going to have a 16-bed nursing immersive skills lab with many different mannequins, task trainers, and different equipment that we will use in our education. We're also going to have a 4-room immersive simulation suite. Part of that will be an ICU-based room, a maternity room, pediatrics, med-surg. We also have a 6-room outpatient clinic type setting where people will be able to practice those skills, and an entire home care suite that has been built to look like an apartment with a bathroom and a kitchen and things like that. So our nursing students are really going to leave the program ready to work in a variety of different environments.
I would like to add to that while we have not physically been on campus since around March 17th or 18th, The architects have been emailing us and asking us for our opinions and on placement of equipment or type of equipment. So I know that they're still actively engaged in this construction. One of the things that I think is also different about us is that we truly welcome student athletes. Many programs say you're either a student nurse or you're a student athlete, but you're not both, because it's not easy. It's not easy to schedule student games and practices around clinicals or arranging clinicals around games and practices. And so we will help you if that is your goal, to be a student athlete and a student nurse. We find that the athletes are hard workers. They're usually very dedicated and manage to combine it all if that is what their goal is. So we do welcome student athletes. I am going to say a couple of sentences about the Center for Student Success and First Year Advising, and then I would like Gabby and Elizabeth to give us some opinion about how their first year went. We have a Student Success Center on campus that provides all sorts of campus resource information to students. You have a first year advisor, Holly Peterson, who is very knowledgeable about the curriculum, and she knows every one of these nursing students personally and has been very helpful with providing them information about course selection and registration. Elizabeth, would you like to say something about the Student Success Center?
Yeah, of course. So I use the Student Success Center quite a bit when I was there, and I found it very helpful to meet with my advisor even when it wasn't needed to touch base. And even being from home, I've been in contact with her, and she's been super helpful with picking my classes for next semester. And I hope you guys use the Student Success Center. It's really helpful.
Good. And Gabby, you have anything to add to that?
I didn't really need to use the Student Success Center more than just the first year success seminar class that we had with Holly. I just, I've emailed her a lot, and she's wonderful. Like you said, that she has all the resources to help you. But yeah, I would definitely say it's a good tool to utilize. I have had friends who have needed to, and their situations have been resolved. So it's really just great.
Good, great. Along with that Success Center, all freshmen, all first year students take a course in the fall, US 190. And it is a class that meets once a week. And it really educates the first year student about being a college student, how to navigate being a student, how to transition from being a high school student to a college student. They teach about the skills that will help get through their first time in college. And they, again, talk about campus resources, but they also discuss stress management and how you can get involved in campus life, career and professional development, lots of other things that are helpful to help you transition to college life. Study skills, time management skills, things that you may need further development in. That course helps students develop those skills. I'm just going to remind you that the Bachelor of Science in Nursing may be new. It's a pre-licensure program that you will be the second class to enter. But the program is not new. We have been educating RNs since 1976. That is nurses with an RN already who choose to come here and get a bachelor's degree. So we do understand nursing, the nursing discipline. We do understand nursing curriculum. Our curriculum reflects national standards, And it does build on existing collaborations with our other health and education programs. This is an education. We give you courses in liberal arts and sciences besides nursing, so that you will become a well-rounded, educated person, not just nursing. I'll go through our curriculum. I don't know whether people remember it or not, but just so that you can refresh what goes on here. In the first year, you'll have a biology and a chemistry course. It is important to realize that nursing is an art and a science. It's built on strong, solid science foundations. So that's why we have a heavy science in our first year. You have an introduction to health professions, which is a course that you will be joined with other health professional students. And you'll be talking about the health professions, what it means to work in the health professions today. Academic writing is one of the college courses, as I said, to make you a well-rounded liberal arts student also. Intro to psychology and the first year success program that we talked about, the success course. In the spring, anatomy and physiology, along with chemistry. There's a second part to that health profession course, an academic 2 course, and a communication. Was there a question, Jessica, that you wanted me to address?
There are a couple of questions in the chat. The first one is, what is the student to teacher ratio in the nursing program?
Oh, good. Okay. Well, right now, I think our classes are no more than 40-1. Our labs will break down to approximately 18-2, because Professor Weinau will always be in the lab, and there will be a second faculty member in the lab. And then for clinical, our clinical partners tell us how many we can bring in per adjunct. And right now it's about it's about 7 students per instructor. But if it's a particularly specialized unit, they may only say 5 students per instructor. So the most it'll be is 7. Did that answer the question?
Speaking of clinicals, someone wants to know, do you need to have a car to get to clinicals? Where will our clinicals be located?
Okay, clinicals are all over the state of Connecticut, and we do say that you are responsible for your own transportation. Most of the time, students have cars, but if there is an occasion where a student does not have a car, and it does happen on occasion, if you can email us ahead of time for the schedule, you meet somebody who you can share with, a ride with, you let us know, and we will make sure you will be in that clinical group with that student. But I also want to suggest that we encourage carpooling, because a lot of the clinical agencies make students pay for parking. So it behooves you to have 5 in a car. So that's what I would say about transportation. Is there anything else that dovetails onto that?
Yes, just one more question about when do students start their clinical experiences?
Okay, so if there are no questions about first year, I'm going to go into sophomore year. And in the fall, you'll have an anatomy and physiology class, the second part of A&P, and health and physical assessment. That is a nursing class where you will have a class and a lab. And you will learn the beginning skill sets of history taking, how to talk to people, blood pressures and pulses, maybe blood sugar checks. Now we have some clinical sites set up for the fall We're going to go in groups of no more than 10. You'll go in with an instructor, and we'll do blood pressures on people in adult day health, in assisted livings at the YMCA in West Hartford. A number of places have invited us in so we can practice those skills. So fall also of sophomore year is a nutrition course. Intro to Professional Nursing, which is a nursing course. It is not a clinical course, but it's basically what is nursing and what does nursing do, and all of its regulations and standards and ethics. And a course in human development is in that course, because we will be taking care of people from birth to death. And so we need to understand the human development. In the spring of sophomore year is this Foundations of Nursing Practice. That is an actual clinical course. So the long answer to your question is, in the second semester, you will be in clinical. The Foundations of Nursing class has a class once a week. It has a lab once a week, and it has a clinical, an 8-hour clinical. And that clinical is in a step-down unit or a rehab unit or a subacute unit, where you will put into application basic bedside nursing skills that you will learn in the Foundations of Nursing. You'll also take a pathophysiology class and a pharmacy class, because part of what nursing does is administer medications, and we need to be safe about it. We need to understand medications and know medications, and so you'll learn that in the pharmacotherapeutics. And the last course is the UIS, which is an interdisciplinary study, and many, many choices for that class for you to take. I'm going to pause for one little bit and see if anyone has a question about this sophomore year. Jess, are you getting any writing?
One question from Kristen that just came in was, how many nursing students do we currently have enrolled?
Currently, we have 84 first-year students. Yeah, currently have 84. Anything else, Jessica?
Not at the moment.
Okay, I'm going to go to junior year. So junior year, in the fall, you'll have a course, adult and older adult health, and that is acute care. And by acute care, I mean in the hospital. We have contracts with Hartford Hospital and Middlesex Hospital and a number of hospitals in the greater Connecticut area. That class is that adult and older adult health is a course. It has a lab and it has a clinical. And that lab will be educating junior nursing students about IV therapy, advanced dressing changes, psychomotor skills. It's a big course. It's a heavy course. Introduction to sociology, another UIS in that semester, and everyday statistics is rounds out that fall, because everyday statistics is used for our research. We need to understand the research findings. In the spring, you have 2 nursing courses. So you have 2 clinicals, and one is psychosocial issues, which is mental health. And that has a class and that has a clinical. And maternal child nursing. Half the semester you'll be in maternity and half the semester you'll be in pediatrics. And that also has a clinical. And we also have specialty labs built into this semester. So you'll be in the lab again with simulation, doing simulation with mental health issues, with maternity issues, and pediatric issues. So lots of lots of practice in simulation, lots of practice in clinical settings. And informatics for healthcare is essentially all of the technology that is used in healthcare to provide safety and quality in healthcare delivery. I'm going to pause for a little bit now, and if you have questions about junior year, please ask them, and I will see them when Jessica tells me about them.
Here's a great question. Great questions. I think one's being answered currently in the chat, but can nurses participate in any study abroad sessions?
You know what? I think Professor Weinall understands this better than I do because she is a UHart grad in our MS program. So, Valerie, would you speak to this, please?
This was the study abroad question?
Yeah.
Yeah, so so far we have a couple of opportunities for nursing students to study abroad with other nursing students. So this past year we offered a study abroad option, though it got canceled because of everything going on, where the group was going to go to Australia. And what they do is they go with the master's students and the RN to BSN students, and they look at healthcare in different countries. Historically, we have gone to Iceland, Italy, Australia was our most recent. They really solicit feedback from students to where they want to go and what we're interested in. So that is a really awesome opportunity. All of the study abroad sessions happen in the first session of summer term, so it will not interfere with your clinicals or anything like that.
Thank you, Valerie. Any other questions about junior year?
Not about junior year, but a great question that I think that you both could touch on is what type of tutoring opportunities are there for the nursing students? Maybe our nursing students could answer that as well. Meaning to get tutored.
I know, yeah. I'm going to say briefly what I know, and then I will ask Elizabeth and Gabby to chime in if they know anything different. But I know there is peer tutoring available. I know that there is a tutoring center where there's options for academic support. I think there have been some new tutoring or extra help, I should say, instituted in the spring when we listened to students say they wanted additional support. So with that, I will turn it over to Elizabeth and Gabby. Elizabeth, I'll have you go first because I'm looking at you.
So I personally used the library's extra help. So before going into freshman year, I signed up for tutors in chemistry and both biology. And I didn't necessarily go to every session, but I would stay in contact with my tutor and go when I felt it necessary or when I had a big test coming up. It was really helpful because students have gone through it themselves in order to be a tutor. So I got a lot out of it.
Good. Gabrielle, do you have anything to contribute here?
So basically just the way that the tutoring center works, you can either do like a sign-up appointment where you use like a specific tutor, or what I did was I went to like walk-in sessions. So they have like a calendar spread out outside the door of the tutoring center, and basically it's just a schedule of this tutor will tutor bio 212 this time to this time, and then this tutor, so it's kind of just like that would be more of like a group tutor session, or you could schedule like a one-on-one session.
Good, thank you. Are there any other questions before we go on?
Joyce, there are two more questions. One I could handle very quickly. And a couple of students are asking about, they may have taken a college course, AP credits at their high school, and what do they do with those? The very quick answer to that is for anything that you've done that's either AP course related or a course that you've taken through an early college entrance program or dual enrollment program at your high school, Those score reports and or transcripts need to be sent to the University of Hartford after the courses are done. And then we evaluate those and apply the credits to your transcript. So yes, those kinds of things, lots of students have questions about that, but it's a process we're very used to doing. So once you've got those score reports and your transcripts, please send those on over, and then we will work on those individually with you. And then the second question for Joyce is there a certain GPA that one needs to maintain to stay in this program?
Yes, for students entering in the fall of 2020, a GPA of 2.67 is going to be required to advance in the major. That is a little bit higher than a C plus. Basically, we have a C plus required for all of our nursing courses, but usually, the students do very well in other courses, and it raises their GPA. So 2.67 is the short answer.
We are up to date on the questions. You can continue.
All right. Okay. All right. So senior year, boy, didn't that go by fast? Here we are, seniors. All right. So senior year, we're going to go back into the hospital for adult and older adult too. Getting more clinical experience, more, at this point, this is your 4th semester of clinical. So you're feeling very comfortable on the floors and learning how to delegate to unlicensed personnel and taking care of patients. There's a seminar in nursing research. And because research, nursing is a science, and we use the latest evidence to inform our practice. And so you'll take a research course. There'll also be another nursing course, population health nursing. And this is a clinical that will be in the community. It will be in various areas, various populations, be it school children or older adults or different places. And the last UIS is happening here. In the spring is leadership and management of care. This is your last clinical. This is your time to really shine on the floors, because this is where a lot of employers are looking at you, and many students get their job offers when they're doing their leadership rotation. We have a capstone seminar that gets you ready to transition to practice. And we have an NCLEX review. The NCLEX is the licensing exam that you take at the end of your education that licenses you as a registered nurse. And that test is something we want to make sure that you're very prepared for, that you take it once and you get your license and you're off and ready to go to work. Are there any questions about senior year or any other questions that may have come across? Jessica, anything?
So far, no other questions other than just some more questions about the building being open in the fall of 2021. So that would be just in time for these students to start their first nursing classes. And that is a classroom building. It's not a living building. So that will be full of classrooms, labs, simulation areas, as Joyce mentioned before.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, sometimes you sit and listen and you don't have any questions, but then a little bit later you say, oh, geez, I thought of a question I wish I had asked. So here it is. You want to ask me a question, please? J. Thielen at hartford.edu. I will also offer Professor Weinall's email. She is Valerie Weinall, Weinall at hartford.edu. We are on email all the time. We'd be happy to talk with you or answer questions that you may have. We look forward to meeting you live and in person in August. Valerie, would you like to add anything?
All I would add is if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach. We'd be happy to answer anything that pops up.
Joyce and Valerie, we actually have a couple more questions coming in. So the first one is, are there any research opportunities with nursing professors?
Well, I have to say that, I mean, this is a new program. The pre-licensure program is a new program. And I think that with the faculty that we have coming in, we have brand new faculty coming in the fall for this program. And they are in doctoral programs themselves. So they're going to be engaging in some pretty exciting stuff. They're very interested in simulation. They're very interested in seeing how students learn with simulation versus clinical itself. There's a lot of different exciting ideas. And once we get our faculty in and involved and on board, I think we're going to see a lot of opportunity for engagement.
We have quite a few questions here. So one of the questions, are you required to take a language as a course at University of Hartford? For this degree program, that's a very simple question. That's a simple question. You do not have to take a foreign language or sign language as a course for the nursing program.
That is correct.
Another great question. So for students who are from out of state, would they take the NCLEX here or in their home state?
The NCLEX is a national exam. You can take it in Connecticut, but you apply for a license in New York. You can take it in New York and apply for a license in Connecticut. You apply for the license in the state you want to practice. But where you take that test is immaterial. I had a student who took it in England because it's a computerized test, but she applied for a Connecticut license. So when her test results came in, they went to Connecticut, the results.
Here's a great question for our students. How is the school spirit at University of Hartford?
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I would say that the school spirit is excellent. I mean, of course, I didn't get to experience a lot of the sporting events for the spring because, you know, that got cut off. But the basketball games are really entertaining. They're very, you know, the spirit dance and cheer teams are very excellent, you know, at getting like the crowd involved. And there was one point that I just like will always remember as like kind of like the staple for UHeart spirit is there was, I don't remember exactly what event it was for, but there were students driving around in golf carts just playing music and just having a really good time. So if that gives you any information, then yeah.
So to go off of that, I also remember the golf carts. I think it was for our first flight, so our first basketball game. But everyone like go to the games, people get involved, like whole organizations will go. I know like student government has gone to the basketball games and whole sororities have gone. A lot of people go and they're a lot of fun.
Good. That's good to hear.
A couple of the other questions are academic related, and so I can ask these two questions together. Would it be difficult for a nursing student to take a language class or have a minor?
Some students like to minor in something like psychology. Other students like to minor in Spanish, or a foreign language, I should say, a secondary language. I think it would provide a challenge in like the senior year, but I can't say for sure that that's not possible. I think what would determine that may be how many college credits they come in with. If they already have their AP credits for psych or AP credits for English, it lightens up there. It provides space to take those other courses.
I can ask this question, although I may not know exactly what this is. It says, do you offer HESI exams?
We use ATI.
Okay.
Testing, same.
That was a nursing term.
Yeah, just it's a different company, but it's the same concept, yes.
And we have two more great questions for our students. The first one is, and you can both answer these, does UHart have any school traditions? And then the second one, is it difficult to balance being in this program along with doing clubs?
So I am in a sorority, and I do not find it that hard to balance the program and being with my friends and in the sorority. There's mandatory study hours for me, so I was in the library constantly. And with any club or activity that you do, school always comes first, and they're very understanding. For school traditions, Gabby, do you want to speak a little on that?
You know, the only one that I know of is how the clubs put the anchor in the front. Other than that, I'm not too sure.
Sorry, you got cut a little short, but
So, I mean, I have heard about spring fling. I don't know much about it, but it's an event in the spring that, of course, we didn't get to experience. It's a lot of fun. Pretty much people are just outside. There's just like outdoor activities to do. The first night at school, it's like I believe it's for commuters and residential students, but like a couple nights before classes, they'll have like outdoor activities. So you know, like outdoor karaoke they had like an ice cream stand, you know, some just outdoor fun stuff. So.
I actually remember one more tradition that we do. It's during exam times, we have midnight breakfast. So everyone will be lining up in front of the dining hall for their breakfast at midnight or close to.
Elizabeth and Gabby, do you both remember getting your picture taken in the shape of an H with all of your classmates?
Yes.
That's a tradition we have every year. And then that's posted, a huge mural of your pictures is posted on the wall by the walking bridge for when it's your turn to be a senior. So that's a fun tradition. One of the other questions that we have is it common for students to have part-time jobs, or would this be challenging given this major?
I have a part-time job. So I'm a residential student. I live close to campus, but you can find a job that's around campus. So I live about 30 minutes away from campus. So I go home and work for the weekend, and then come back. I don't find it difficult at all. Finals and exams is a little bit stressful, but with time management, you should be fine. But again, I have successfully had a job throughout this whole freshman year. So.
And even on campus, there's a lot of job opportunities, even through the Student Success Center. And I haven't personally had a job while on campus, but I plan on getting one next semester when we go back. I don't think it will be hard to balance at all.
And I see one more question. Feel free to type those in if you have any more. And I'll ask our students to chime in on this one too. Is University of Hartford a diverse place?
UHart
Say
is.
yes.
Oh goodness. I agree with Gabby for sure. It's definitely a diverse school.
Also, you know, it's very diverse in the fact that, you know, I have friends who are, you know, like different majors. than I am. Like I'm friends with like a photography major, just joining clubs and, getting yourself out there will help you, you know, diversify yourself and your experience at UHart, which I think is pretty important. And that's why I like UHart, because I don't, yeah, it is very diverse.
It looks like we have made it to the end of the list of questions, unless anybody else has any more. I don't know if Joyce and Valerie, you want to wrap up?
Well, I think we did basically by, again, thanking you for coming. We know this isn't the ideal situation, but it is the real situation. And so I think we've had a good virtual visit. I think we hope to see you in September for sure. We're looking forward to developing this program and getting our council bigger and starting the Nursing Student Association in the fall, and really, getting some traction with this program and really being a force in the greater Hartford area. So we hope you'll join us. Valerie?
I agree. Everything that you said, we're really excited about this program and having the opportunity to build the pre-licensure program from the ground up. And we're going to do some really amazing things. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you in the fall.
Thank you.
I see a couple more questions. We're going to stay on the line until they're done.
All right.
One of which I can handle. And so you've probably heard me talking in the background, but I can quickly introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jessica Pollock York, and I'm the Assistant Dean in the College of Education, Nursing and Health Professions. And so I work very closely with all of the department chairs and the undergraduate students. But I see a great question here from Jennifer about, will orientation be held online? Jennifer, that's a great question. And for the time being, yes, it does look like that is going to be how we are going to hold orientation this year due to COVID, which is probably not surprising because I can guess most of your friends are getting these messages as well. I've seen lots of it in my own kids' high school, that most orientations are moving online. With that being said, there'll be ample opportunities for you to connect with your classmates. We're going to do some very innovative things to connect with your faculty members, to connect with College of Education, Nursing, and Health Professions, and to directly connect with your first-year advisor. So I can absolutely assure you that we are planning this daily, and we hope to bring you what we think are some very innovative things, and we all remain hopeful that we'll be on campus for the fall. I know a few students have had those concerns in the last few days as well. So we are, fingers and toes are all crossed, but we're going to make sure that we connect with you and your family and your parents and your guardians to give you the best possible experience we have as we gear up to the fall. I have a question from Jade for Elizabeth and our other student. Oh my gosh, Gabrielle. Gabby, can any of the students reach out to you directly if they have questions?
Yes, we both linked our emails below under Jade's question. So feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
And everyone should be able to see those. Great job, everyone, asking such amazing questions, too. It's been a really fun chat.
Are we going to sign off now, Jessica? I think we answered the questions, right?
We have answered all the questions, and I encourage the students to reach out to Valerie and Joyce if you do have any questions, or our students. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and we are so excited to get to campus and have a great year, and we can't do that without you. So we look forward to working with you all.
And stay healthy.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.